It is not about football. It is about the NBA. And that is not something we normally do, but there was massive news that took place yesterday where Damian Lillard, was traded from the Portland Trailblazers to the Milwaukee Bucks. He asked for a trade in July. He said, I'm going to Miami. He ends up in Milwaukee. The man is going to have all the information on how this happened and what this means for the rest of the league. Joins us now, senior insider for The Athletic and the Stadium Network, friend of the program, the ever-handsome Shams Charania.
Hey. Pat, it's good to be here. Congrats again. You know, we have to make sure you got the slides, the kicks, the gear, the swag to match your tank top. Also, just staying with your Pittsburgh roots, you know, black and yellow. So I'm glad you're swagged out these days.
Well, I appreciate the Geiger gift bag. You know, Geiger from Pittsburgh, his business manager actually went to our high school. We know pretty well. We've been trying to get something from Geiger through that guy for, 10 years. So you gifting that to me is incredible. Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
And Sean Davis, thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing, Sean.
Yeah, that's good guy, great guy. I thought we were friends, but yeah, you were able to get a full gift box before that guy was. So we love you, Shams. You're plugged in. Let's dive in. You have a couple of awards sitting over your shoulder there because you get everything accomplished. Yesterday, news came out of nowhere that Damian Lillard was going to the Milwaukee Bucks instead of the Miami Heat. How do we get here? I thought in the NBA, if a player says, I want to go play in Miami, that's what happens. That's not what took place. Can you lead us to the trip, how we got here?
It doesn't always happen that way. So, yeah, when Damian Lillard asked for a trade on July 1, a day into free agency, he told the Portland Trailblazers, I want to trade to one team and one team only, and that's the Miami Heat. And he believed he had the goodwill there, 11 seasons there, top 75 greatest players of all time. He spent his whole career there. He felt like he earned the right to dictate where he was going to go. And Portland just from the outset just did not seem interested in really engaging with the Miami Heat. I'm told on one of the initial calls, they asked for either Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler. Obviously, that's not going to go anywhere. And I think the Heat, in talking to people around there, they just did not feel like the Blazers had any interest in really dealing with them. And they weren't interested in their package. And the Heat were willing to give 3 first-round picks, swaps, seconds, expiring contracts, a young player like Nikola Jovic, Tyler Hero in that case, also a Milwaukee native, ironically. He would then go to a third team. But that never got any traction. And so Dame Lillard, he did have some say at the end of this in terms of him and his agent. They told Milwaukee, like, trade for him if you want. Like, Dame would be fine going there. And it was going to be a matter of whether Dame would want to go there and would a team want to take him on. He's got 4 years, almost $220 million left on his contract. And so once his agent gave Milwaukee the green light, Milwaukee went all in, and they traded Drew Holiday, a first, a couple swaps, and they really changed the entire, I think, landscape of the NBA, because this also has an impact on Giannis's future as well.
Yeah, they propelled up the number 1 odds to win the title next year immediately upon this being announced. Dame and Giannis should be a lot of fun to watch. You said like 4 years, $220 million. Like the 9th guy on like the Pacers bench is making $190 million. I mean, that's how the NBA is. So we assume that somebody would want Dame, especially because how the NBA does move. And what I read, and I think you alluded to it there, you said the Miami Heat felt like they were never engaged in the conversations. I heard the Heat made one offer and then that was it. It sounds like Portland was like, because Dame wanted to go to Miami, we're not doing that. Is that, what's with this spite? Is that real? Is that the pettiness? Is that how we got here?
I believe Damian Lillard and his camp definitely believe that Portland just did not have any interest fulfilling his wish, and that's to trade him to the Miami Heat. And you look at previous trades, at least since I've been covering the league. You know, Donovan Mitchell last year, I think there was an understanding. He preferred to go to the New York Knicks, and he had spent, I think, 5-6 seasons in Utah at that point. And Utah did everything they could. Danny Ainge, Justin Zanuck in Utah, they tried their best to move Donovan Mitchell last year to the Knicks. The Cavs just trumped their offer. And I think over the course of time, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant last season, he ends up with the Phoenix Suns, his preferred destination. He doesn't get his wish last summer, but then he gets his wish during the season. Most landmark players, the team has at least tried to trade him to his preferred destination. In this case, Damian Lillard, his camp just don't believe that even the attempt or the try was there. And I think the only situation I can think of there is with Kawhi Leonard, when it was known he wanted to go to one of the LA teams and the Spurs just moved him to the Toronto Raptors. That was in 2018.
I love that. And I didn't get to hear all of Farewell, Dame's new song that he dropped yesterday.
Sure.
I hope he took some shots at the front office and the organization, because everything he did for them, everything he did for them, to not even engage in conversation, that's the culture, I guess, of the NBA. Go ahead, AJ, with your question for Shams.
Shams, what's the future look like for James Harden? Were you able to talk with him at all at that sweet party he had? I saw he put out a nice highlight film of that party. I don't know if you were there, but what's it look like for him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going anywhere for any information, any networking, AJ, but I was not there, unfortunately. I also wasn't there last night in Miami when he went to go see a soccer game. What I do know is he still wants to trade, and I think he wants to trade to the Clippers. And just we know how this offseason has gone. The back and forth between him and Daryl Morey. He told Daryl Morey, he said it, for everyone to hear, you're a liar. And I never want to be a part of an organization that you're a part of again. And he got fined $100,000 for those comments. And since then, I don't think anything has changed. The Sixers aren't really sure whether he's going to report to training camp next week. We'll see what happens there if he's still on the roster. But I think one thing that's changed everything, the new wrinkle here, is Jrue Holiday, his future. He's now on Portland in that Damian Lillard trade, and I think there's a good chance he moves before media day on Monday. And I think the Clippers have interest potentially. Philadelphia has interest in him, and Philadelphia is going to be going hard at him. So James Harden would have to be a part of a transaction like that. So I think it's to be determined, but I don't think James Harden's mindset's changed at all.
Jrue Holiday said the day before the trade that he was a Buck for life, right? Love the place, love everything about it. I can't wait to be in Milwaukee for the rest of my life. Boy, I love this place.
Tough.
And then next day he's traded right out. He didn't know any discussions were happening. Is that the way it goes?
It's a cold world. I'm told he did find out before the deal, but no, I don't think. I think this really came out of nowhere. I think this was really airtight. John Horst, the Bucks organization, ownership. At the end of the day, they had to make the final call, and they kept it tight. And I think Jrue Holiday, if he was still there, he would have signed an extension, would have been there for years to come. But we saw, like Giannis's comments the last few months, the pressure he's put on that organization to go win a championship. And if we're not trying to win a championship here, I'll go somewhere else to go win a chip. And I think that pressure that he's put on that organization, they went out and they saw Damian Lillard, and they know the impact that he can have. I think there will be a transition. Defensively, Jrue Holiday was a force. He can guard anyone in the league. But I think from an offensive perspective, I was talking to one team president today, and they said Giannis and Dame are the best offensive duo. They're like a match made in heaven. There's not a better duo you can come up with in today's NBA.
Well, I'll be fascinated to see how it works out because I was told Kyrie and Luka are going to be able to.
That's right.
And, is that still happening? Are we still Luka and Kyrie still together in Dallas?
Kyrie and Luka are still together. Kyrie signed a 3 years, $126 million deal. He is back in Dallas. So yes, that duo is back.
So as soon as he got there, they just were terrible, right? And it'll be different.
They went 5-11 together, so it's not even like
good.
So what happened? How is that? Because we asked you this last year at the end of the season because we went and saw the Mavericks take on the Pacers
And Clippers Suns.
and Clippers Sun, but we saw Mavericks and Pacers. Everybody there had Luka jerseys on. Everybody in Indiana had Luka jerseys on. They were there to see the Mavericks. I don't think Kyrie played. He might have. I don't know. But them on the same, they never won like it was supposed to happen. And then at the end of the season, we go, hey, Kyrie going back to Dallas, or where is he heading to LA? And you're like, no, Mark Cuban wants him there. Luka wants him there. Everyone. What was happening that we didn't see in the results business that makes them think that they're going to have success?
Well, offensively, they think they're good. As a duo, they were one of the best offenses in the league. The big question is defensively. So them two buying in, the rest of the team buying in. But when I talk to people on the Mavericks, their sense is it was a roster issue. It was a chemistry issue. So this year, there's no more Christian Wood. There's some of the other players on the roster they kind of allowed to depart. They brought in Grant Williams. I think he's going to be a big get for them, getting him from Boston positions. I know Boston Connor knows everything about Grant Williams.
So good.
He trends on Twitter every game he plays. He's a top 5 trend. So fans love him. They love to hate on him sometimes as well.
That's
but
what
Grant
Williams,
sometimes.
Dallas needed more top 5 trends.
That's right.
Luka, Kyrie, get another one in there. Mark Cuban.
Right. Yeah,
that's what they need. They need more top 5 trends. I'm excited to see how it works. There's another player we always ask about, obviously. Ty Schmidt has a question for you.
Yeah, Zion, what's going on with him, okay? I was going to say, Shams, I don't want to bring this up again, but we have to talk about him. Zion is looking absolutely fucking jacked. Looks like he lost a bunch of weight. Are the expectations that he's going to play more than 6 games this year, or are we putting the over-under at like 12 games maybe? What's going on with Zion?
Oh man, I hope it's not 6 to 12 games. If it is, the Pelicans are in a lot of trouble. Listen.
Wow.
The latest Zion update I have is here. The Pelicans believe that Zion Williamson is in really good shape. They're excited about his progress and the way he looks, his readiness for training camp next week. And one thing, David Griffin has come out and said it as well. One difference in the past, Zion Williamson has not spent this much time in New Orleans. He spent a lot more time locally in New Orleans, working out there, spending some time at the Saints facility as well. There's a football tie-in for you guys. But again, that doesn't mean he's leading the charge on the court quite yet. He hasn't been a part of that many scrimmages on the court, so we're not seeing him put dents on the floor. But the one thing that I will say he's doing a lot of, he's investing a lot more money, investing a lot more time on his body, on hiring people, bringing people in his life that can help him and help his body. From that standpoint, you have to give Zion Williamson a shout for his accountability. I think he understands the level of commitment he needs to have moving forward.
Is he still drinking that trash-ass Starry?
I think only he can answer that, but he is sponsoring it. Last time we checked, he's sponsoring. So I'm not trying to.
That was the most we saw him last season.
Oh, yeah.
We are massive. For those that are new to the program, we are maybe Zion Williamson's biggest fans.
Yeah.
Check it.
Number one topic. I agree. This is the Zion Williamson show. There's not a show that ever comes by that we're not talking Zion Williamson. I think there is a lot of love here for Zion Williamson.
I've seen this dude since he's 12 years old, dunking on little white kids on the internet, just through his legs at 240 pounds then when he was 12. Now like 290, he's able to do stuff that no other human bodies are able to do. Then he's not going to be able to do it in college. He did. The only thing that didn't hold up for him in college was his shoes. Remember, they couldn't handle how explosive he was, and that actually affected him. So whenever he gets to the Pelicans in his first game playing for them, they're on national television because he's on the team. The Pelicans introduced him like third or something like that.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Or like second or something like that. Didn't introduce him last. I was pissed. I'm like, hey, we're all watching because of this guy, pal. The reason why you're on national TV, speaking of Drew Holiday, he was there. The only reason why you're on national TV is because of Zion. So I thought since day one, the Pelicans didn't appreciate what they had in this. And then it feels like over the last couple of years, we've learned that maybe Zion didn't appreciate what he was either as much. Sounds like he's putting a little bit more into the game. And in return, we should feel something, right? We should see something out of Zion this season.
Listen, when he's on the court, Pat, I mean, we all want to see Zion Williamson on the court as much as possible. That's good for the game. That's good for basketball. That's good for sports. And what he does, no one else in the league does. So we want him on the court. But conditioning, his shape, mentality, commitment, I think those are all things.
Figure it out, Zion.
JJ Redick has said it publicly. Teammates have said it publicly. I don't think I'm throwing Zion under the bus here. No. I think that those are all things that Pelicans officials look at on a daily basis. And I think, one thing I will say, teammates, they want to see it to believe it. They want to see Zion Williamson come in, the shape he's in. They want to believe he's ready to go because they know if he plays 60 games, 70 games, this is a team that can compete for home court.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to watch it. Good team down there.
Very good.
Hey, and the Blender, the Smoothie King Center.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's live.
It's live.
Get Pat to a game. Can we get Pat to a New Orleans game? Because if you think about it, you did the Suns.
Sean,
you did the Suns.
Sean,
just
Sean,
stop.
you sound like a doofus right now.
Just
Sean.
stop.
Sean,
You did the Pacers.
Keep going,
What am I missing?
Sean, you sound like a dude. I was at the Clippers, the Suns game, obviously.
I'm just saying, let's get him. Let's get Pat to New Orleans.
Sean.
Work time.
Get down there.
First game.
Sean, you sound dumb. Please, Zito, can we find the photo? There has to be there somewhere. The Pelicans actually, they gave me a microphone, put me right in the middle, center court.
Yeah.
They gave me center court after I put that tweet out about Zion, him not being introduced last. Look at this. This was the last.
Oh,
that was not it. That's it right there. So, Daryl Morey's liar on the bottle service thing, certainly hilarious.
they gave you the mic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
I introed the whole team. Zion was not last.
No.
Yet again, I introed the whole team. This was the last event before COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real deal.
We had to remind the world. We all forgot everything that happened that year in 2020.
Yeah, so this was, at this point, I think they were talking about like a historic spike of COVID in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was March.
Like it was one of the big things. So we go down there to do it. We fly back. didn't leave the state for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like that was the last thing. I think it was the last day potentially before COVID happened. Got to do this interim. So the Pelicans and I have great relationships, a long time. But we've been waiting since that night for Zion to be Zion. Right. Here we are 3 years later thinking it's coming. Now another young superstar that we certainly need to continue to play well and off the court, act right. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Shams, we haven't heard much about Ja, and that's probably the best case scenario after that whole entire debacle happened in the spring. What's going on there? Is he just locked in, and is he never going to be on a phone again, probably for the best? Or what's the situation with Memphis?
Yeah, I think he was on the phone. He just posted a video a few days ago. I think a lot of Ja Morant's activity right now is a lot to do with his sponsorships, his commitments, his partners, and I think the Nike shoe deal, they kept the shoe deal. So he still got that. He was at a Nike event in New York City a few weeks ago. So he's still involved when it comes to his partners. But I think, he's put out some videos as well, some content. I think he is locked in on the court. I think he's trying to stay locked in. We're not seeing him do a lot of tweeting, a lot of posting on social media. And I think that was the issue the first time. And then the incident happens again. I think the second time around, it seems like he's clearly changed up, at least his approach. And I think the Grizzlies are going to try to get to that 20-25 game point. Hopefully they can tread water, stay above ground, and then hopefully get Ja Morant back right after that 25th game.
Yeah, there felt like there was a time there where Ja Morant's natural instinct as soon as he saw an IG Live was to grab a gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where is one? As soon as your IG Live, let me do that. He can learn from that, right? He can certainly change. I think we're going to see a great Ja Morant from this. Is that how everybody else views this as well?
I think even his dad's come on and said it. It's just decision making. I think Ja Morant has to take ownership of this. I think he has. I think he did the first time. Clearly, he did it again. And I think the onus falls with him. Listen, you do it again, you're going to get an even bigger suspension. You probably suspend, season
Yep.
You're going to third time around. It's not going to go as well for him. So I think he understands that there's too many partners for him, too much obligation. I think at the end of the day, everyone around Ja Morant, when I talked to teams that interviewed him during the pre-draft process, he's a great kid. I think he loves basketball. He loves to hoop. And so to be able to hoop and to show your love and passion for the game, he's got to stay on the court. And that means getting rid of the off court.
Yeah, we need him in the sports world too.
Yeah.
Hey, look, come on, Ja, come on. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's just be an adult, earn the paycheck, do our thing. And then when you're done, all the gun IG Lives you want.
Yeah,
Exactly.
rip it up.
That's like a goal. Maybe have it be a goal, just not as one of the top paid professional athletes on earth. Anything we missed here, Shams? Anything we missed that we should have brought up in the NBA world because we're not following as closely as you are, obviously?
No, but I just got a text. I have some news for you guys, just a little bit. It's no trade news. This is a big trade week. We'll see what happens to Drew Holiday, see what happens to James Harden. I just got this. So Indianapolis, your city, where you're from, where you bleed.
Yeah.
You bleed black and yellow, but you reside in Indy.
Yeah, you got byway.
Yeah, right.
They're hosting All-Star Weekend in 2024. The NBA is nearing plans for the Warriors and Chase Center to have the 2025 All-Star Weekend in the Bay.
Okay, congrats.
Nice.
Some league-related news for the Warriors. They will host
that?
All-Star Weekend.
2025.
Yep.
Oh,
Almost there.
Hey, lock it in.
Okay.
Yep, mark it.
I just put in my calendar.
Yeah.
What's the date? What's the
Book the
date?
flights, But
8 months away.
mid-February 2025.
Okay, the Ides of February
Also names
2025. Let me scroll through here. All right, it's 2024.
Someone get on Airbnb now.
All right, February 2025. The 12th is Wednesday. 12th is a Wednesday. All right.
Okay.
We appreciate you, man. You're the best, dude. Honestly.
Appreciate you guys always.
When's the season? You said training camp's next week, all the way to Christmas, right? Because Christmas is first day.
Yeah.
Media Days October 2. Season opener October 23rd.
Okay.
And then Christmas Day, is December. I think it's December 25th. I think. Can we confirm that?
Well, there's certainly a conversation about is that the actual or
right.
is there a
Yeah.
certain
That's-
that's not for us to decide.
No.
Yeah, that's not this. Ladies
The
and gentlemen,
NBA season starts on October 23rd. Just to clarify.
oh yeah,
Allegedly.
the
Yeah,
Christmas.
we'll check in on
and the
Christmas.
Season tournament as
Well, actually, Christmas is Sunday, which
Is the Lord's Day, but it's also
I think we know what that.
Roger Goodell's Day.
No, it's Monday. It's Monday.
Monday.
But we got
Okay.
three.
Games on Monday.
Hey, we got three. So Christmas was last year on Sunday, I think,
Yeah.
and the NFL saw how NBA, not a bad idea. So now this year, 3 games the NFL has. That's
Sorry, Sean.
why are we
Yeah,
doing that?
so-
Why is that happening?